Again, thank you everyone for joining us here today. We are on lesson 7 of the Targeted Individual Combat Training, the Poli-Si method. And thank you so much for joining the call, and you're in for some great information today. I'll let Jamie take it from here.
Hi guys, welcome back. Poli-Si Counterterrorism Combat Training Teleconference Series number 7, entitled Personal Agency, Its Universal Power, Healing Protocol, and the Role of Visualization for Targeted Survivors. We're here to talk about something unstoppable. It's called personal agency. It's the spark that drives their choices, heals their wounds, and shapes their future. As a targeted survivor, I've learned how powerful it is to claim this force, especially now as Poli-Si redefines our language and path. We're moving on from counterterrorism into counterintelligence, holding space for healing and using visualization to rise stronger. Let's dive in. What is agency? How does it work? And why does it matter? Personal agency is our ability to act with intention, make choices, and believe your actions shape your life. It's about owning your strengths, your dreams, and your story. Survivors must reclaim their agency. Poli-Si no longer identifies with the label of targeted individuals. We're targeted survivors. This shift isn't just words, it's power. Through agency, we hold space to heal and visualize a future where we thrive. Agency works the same for everyone, no matter your journey. Here's how it comes alive. First, it's about belief. You have to trust you can make a difference. When I imagined myself speaking out about what I'm going to share with you today, I had to find the courage to do it. That belief grew with every step. Second, it's about action. Agency means choosing your path and learning new skills, healing through self-care, and standing up for justice. Each choice holds space for recovery. Third, it's about adapting. Targeting life is riddled with fear, isolation, and paranoia. Agency finds a way through. I face all of these things and visualize secure strategies. Then I learn how to use encryption. That's agency at work. Visualization supercharges the process. By picturing your goals, like healing, safety, and community, you make them real in your mind. And this is enough to guide your actions. It's universal, from a kid facing a bully to a survivor envisioning freedom. Poli-Si works from the baseline premise that evolution is the revolution. We're moving past counterterrorism into beyond the looking glass to embrace counterintelligence, a proactive way to outsmart systems with practices like creating a cryptographic mind and cyber-secured neural network into privacy protection and community building. Visualization makes these tools stronger. Picturing yourself using them builds confidence and clarity. This shift empowers us to protect our agency and heal through action. Agency isn't about fighting. It's about healing. By making choices, we create space to process trauma and rebuild. Self-reflection rejects self-deception and places us inside quarantine timelines and immunity structures because we understand how all of this works. Visualization is key. Imagining a safe, empowered self can soothe pain and guide us forward. For me, continually picturing a supportive survivor network led me to real connection. That's healing through agency. Why is claiming agency vital? First, it restores dignity. Visualizing yourself as a survivor, not a victim, says, I choose who I am. Second, it disrupts oppression. Systems want us powerless. Agency power paired with counterintelligence breaks their hold. Third, it heals and builds resilience. Every choice, like Visualizing peace or practicing Poli-Si formulas turns pain into strength. And finally, it changes the world. When we visualize a shared future and act, we build movement. Poli-Si's vision unites us as targeted survivors ready to rise. In closing, this is a call to action. Your agency is your birthright. It's the power to heal, resist, and dream. For targeted survivors, it's their defiance and their hope. Barriers like fear or targeting can feel heavy, but start small. Visualize one step forward, then take it. Picture your strength, your community, and your freedom. Your agency is waiting. We're not bound by the past. We're targeted survivors, embodying counterintelligence strategies, healing through action, and visualizing a new world. Let's claim our power, hold space for healing, and rise together. So today I'm going to close out this series and share intimate details, specifically in regards to the beginning of my journey, how Poli-Si came to be, why it was developed, and how it relates to the Targeted Individual Program. In the beginning of our journey together, I wanted to provide counterterrorism strategies and not make these teachings about me. But since we're transitioning into counterintelligence, I feel it's an opportune time to share more intimate details about my journey and overall plans for the future, with the intent to provide you with all the details of my testimony of knowledge in a 2-decade journey of claiming my agency through Poli-Si healing methods. Before I do this, I have a PDF, or Melissa has prepared a PDF. It's a declaration of agency. It's a healing and vision from a targeted survivor, and I recommend that you print that out, sign it, and read it every single day. Mm-hmm. If you have to read it 3 times a day in the beginning, but it's a good plan moving forward. So I hope my story will inspire you to remain steadfast and take the next evolutionary steps with Poli-Si and beyond the looking glass, where the goal is to adapt, refine, and embody Poli-Si's agency as I share further intimate details on how to hold up the accountability mirror, not only for yourself, but for systems, programs, entities, networks, operations, and individuals who encroach on your agency. So I think we need a little bit of icebreaker. Maybe you can say a few things before I dive into this story here, which I'm going to keep it brief and very encrypted. I'm not going to put out any names or anything like that. It's just the story, my journey, and how it all began.
That's awesome. And I like that we're shifting into counterintelligence, and we're leaving that the victim label behind us, because we're all standing here today because we are survivors, and now we're embracing the next, phase of our journey with leaving the victim behind, because we all have that inner strength, that warrior within, and this is the part of us, our authentic self, and our warrior self is going to lead us through. Anyone would like to share anything or have any questions? I know we had a couple that were joined a little bit late, but here, if you want to say hi, or if you're ready to move forward and hear Jamie's story. I think everybody's eager.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Now I can. Yeah.
Hi. I am having trouble hearing. I think I need to call in. I was just able to get this app. I don't know if that's so important to hear everything. And I know it's recorded, thank God. But I just wanted to say hi, and I'm enjoying this journey. It's a lot of work, but it's well worth it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. Glad to have you part of the journey with us.
Yeah. Will you take me off camera by chance so I can...
see if I can from here.
So in reflecting this past week on session 7, I wasn't able to really come up with any ideas, not because I don't have any, rather because after careful review, our next steps really hinge on upgraded cognitive processes. Otherwise, information is just information until it's transformed into knowledge through wisdom. So the counterterrorism blueprint you have is the result of 2 decades of research, study, experimentation, and integration. At this point, the next steps cannot be taken until you develop your cognitive processes to create a stable communication network between your mind, brain, heart, nervous system, and free will. So I've said many times this is a marathon, not a race, and the day-to-day grind is working the processes, because we're really trying to hone in and pull up all the subconscious distortions that are keeping us tethered to these energies. So moving along. All right. So in 2005, I was married. I had everything a human being could possibly imagine, and I got to a place where I needed to address some issues in my life. I reached out to a friend. I ended up reading books that sort of shifted my perception and how I saw things in life. And I read a book, and I said to myself, well, it was interesting when I read the book, I noticed my eyes, I was speed reading, and I was comprehending every word, and it was written in a biblical sense. And it was striking to me because I was like, how can you even understand what this is saying? So if I go back and try to read the book now, I can't understand a word it's saying. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. But anyway, I read the book cover to cover 3 times within 3 weeks. And I started practicing the steps. And basically the steps were non-attachment, non-judgment, non-expectation. I understand that now, but I didn't know that then. So after reading the book, I said, if you had to summarize that book, how would you describe it? And I said, oh, that's easy. And these words came out of my mouth, and it was as if I didn't even, like, who are you? Who's saying this? But it was my voice coming out of my mouth. I said, that's easy. I'd show up in the ever-present now moment as if there's no past or future, viewing everything through the eyes of an innocent child. I would give up judgment and seek clarity of all things. I would forgive all things and people that caused resistance for me, and I would show up with unconditional love, being 4 postures: self-love, tough love, soft love, and omni-love. And I said, I'm going to practice this. Well, basically, it's non-judgment, non-attachment, non-expectation. But I didn't know that at the time. So I'm implementing this in my life. And in doing so, it was one thing after another. It was just, it was truly a magical experience. I ended up coming clean and telling people things about me that I had been hiding from basically my whole life. And in doing so, I felt relieved. Of course, I dropped a bomb on everybody in my life. Anyway, this isn't the purpose of the story. The purpose of the story is things started shifting. I was sleeping and lucid dreaming. I didn't even know what lucid dreaming was. I just knew that I was doing it. Didn't have a word for it. And I started hearing my voice. I would ask myself a question like, what do I think about this? And the next thing you know, a voice would come in and answer me. And I started hearing, well, one night I was sort of in a meditative state, and then all of a sudden I saw a movie of my life in the future. And I was told that I was going to create a course in the future and bring forward healing modalities for mental illness and disease. And of course, this is all like kind of, you know, I'm feeling good, everything, you know, I'm liking what I'm hearing, but I'm thinking, what? Like, how is this going to occur? Well, from that point forward, I basically quit my well-paying job, asked my husband for a divorce, told people god-awful truths about myself, and started documenting. I was told document the 4 steps and your interactions, keep track of everything, and study. And I was introduced, and of course I have no framework. I'm thinking that God is speaking to me, okay? I have no way to articulate this. All I know is I feel good, and I freed myself. I told the truth. Telling the truth is the right thing to do, regardless of what other people think. So I sort of went through, was guided through a life review. I went back and buttoned up some things that needed to be looked at. I took basically total accountability for myself. I took my mask off and started being communicated with. And this is the part I don't want this to be a dog and pony show. I'm basically going to be sharing a testimony of knowledge on how to work these processes. This isn't about me. This isn't about the story. But I will say that there are operations that exist on this planet that are helping us. If you can get yourself in alignment, it requires clear communication and no distortion. You're not allowed in this field unless with distortion. That's why healing is necessary. So this leads me to, I built out this understanding within myself. Everything occurred through healing processes. An idea would come in that I would know nothing about, and the next thing you know, it shows up in my life for me to work through. So, of course, I was introduced basically to elements, and these elements were going to guide me and teach me how to heal myself. I was told I would have to get sick to be able to bring forward these modalities. Little did I know I already was sick. Everything sort of happened in stages. Let's just say there is a self-channel here, and non-attachment, non-judgment, and non-expectations allows you in through that channel. And there is a backdoor system in game state, which is where I'm leading you guys. Through the lower dimensions, through healing processes, you're going to raise your consciousness up. You're going to have metacognition, spatial awareness, basically all of the cognitive processes necessary to navigate this field. So this is how we dismantle the system, okay? This is not about consuming all the information that we can. You have to do the healing work. That's what this is about. And this is what people are being stopped from doing. This is why they're kept inside of all these narratives, because they don't want you to know. This is a simple truth when it's broken down. It is so simple, but they have gone through such great lengths to keep this from people. And it's because it's tied to healing. And everybody wants to stay inside the narrative. And it's disgusting is what it is. But it's genius at the same time because people fall for it. That's why you have to claim your agency. That's why you have to step up and make your decisions, consciously choose everything. Take accountability for the choices that you make. Don't make other people responsible for how you feel. Don't allow yourself to be a victim, okay? Rise above that. This is programming. We're battling inner child timelines, programs, frequency modulation zones, okay? This is program. And living inside this narrative is going to tear you down to nothing unless you claim your agency. Mm-hmm. You have to have your free will. And living underneath the shroud of these concepts and ideas are breaking us down, which brings me into the balance and consuming too much information. The brain needs time to process. You should not be listening to video after video after video without providing your brain the ability to rest and process. Because, again, information is nothing without knowledge and wisdom. And when you slow down and you take the time to really consider what it is I'm saying, then you start taking the actions and you start seeing the fruits of those labors, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And there's several of you in this group that are working these processes. And that's why I've chosen to move forward with this. Otherwise, there's really nothing to tell you. You have the entire blueprint. We have to go through the blueprint with a fine-tooth comb and work the processes. It's cognitive processes. We need to learn how to think, not what to think. And we need to get outside of the narrative because they're keeping us from being able to think. Because the mind is busy. It bounces. And when you slow down and you really take the time, I observe. I live in observer mode, okay? 98% of the time, I am in game state, okay? I am observing, dreaming, carving out. Of course, I'm having this shitty-ass experience, right? But it's how I interpret the shitty-ass experience and what I'm uploading to the system. So I'm recoding it, okay? So this is what they don't want you to know. And this has been verified by me. First of all, I've lived it. I've lived the experience. I had full-on communication in my head guiding me through all of this. I would be sitting in a quandary, not able to figure things out, and then all of a sudden the answer would just pop in out of nowhere, like somebody was handing it to me. I was coddled. I was walked. I was taught because I wasn't even online back then. I had no resources. I tried to tell my story to a couple people, and they looked at me like I was nuts. I kept my mouth shut until 2016, okay? And then that's when I started seeing all these other narratives popping up. So, you're only as good as the information that you're being fed, and you have to get your mind outside of this playing field and tap into higher resonances where the true information exists. Okay? That's it. I'm off my high horse now. Sorry. I just get really passionate about this.
No, I mean, it totally makes sense. The download burst, I call them downloads, like bursts of information, like where'd that come from? What's that word? But it has some meaning, and it goes on like you're going on a mission to find it. And there's an answer that you've been looking for.
All information is contained within the human being through the personality, okay? They know this. The backdoor entrance is you access it through the stealth channel, which they also know, okay? Information slips through in downloads, but they're already inside of you. So it's alignment, alignment, alignment. And these cognitive processes that I've given you place you in alignment. All you have to do is show up. And your incentive to keep doing it is the effects that you're going to feel. Which leads me into, so once I realized, okay, I need to talk about agency. We're going to move beyond the looking glass. We're going to move into beyond the looking glass, out of this targeted individual victim mentality, and move forward into counterintelligence. And I forgot what I was going to say. So I was being coddled last night. I was in a very peaceful and calm state, and I reflected on this journey, and I saw it, but I sort of reconciled what I saw, which was the growth that I've experienced through this program. And honestly, I had to dive into this. I dove into every single thing that was written and all of the meditations various times, and my nervous system needed to release this really, really deep-seated fear about this next stage where Poli-Si is going. So it was like the added extra layer of armor that I needed to be able to push me forward. But I have immense gratitude for this teleconference series. I have immense gratitude for everyone, whether they're working the problem or not, or the processes or not. And I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for providing me with this opportunity to share this testimony that I have. And I look forward to people, learning about it and taking on this journey and building a community and taking this to next level beyond what I could possibly tell you. I don't want to feed you a bunch of stuff right now, but I have big dreams. Big dreams.
Yes.
All we need is a funnel.
I mean, we're like a light army rising up. We are breaking free from the narrative, the you know, the imposed upon sufferings, I think, that come with this type of program, right? It's all about tearing down the self, and it's all about making you second guess yourself, and to minimize you, demoralize you, discredit you, all of these things. And look at how much of a force and a punch comes at you just to tear you down. But like Jamie is saying, the key is within, and that key is the healing. Because once you unlock it and you start to operate in your authenticity and seeing yourself through the lens of truth, of who you are and what you're capable of, and not the narratives, not the punches, not the distractions, not the bodily attacks. You know, these are the things where our mind is so powerful, and they have the systems, the collective they, the counter, right, has spent so much time in trying to perfect this warcraft, because this is the new warcraft. It's not on a battlefield, it's in the mind. You don't have to shed blood or anything. You can just attack someone and destroy them, or try to mentally, by doing this. This is what it has evolved to. But they don't want you to know that you've got the hero within, that you have the ability to work through all the childhood, all the generational, all of that luggage, all that you're carrying around, all that weight. That is a false narrative of who your true reflection is. And the Poli-Si method and us moving into counterintelligence, this is us, you know, we are going to be able to overcome this by doing this. And I feel really led too, like what Jamie said about the doom videos. I mean, it's easy to get sucked in, you know, into a cyclone of all of this negativity about the targeted individual, right? And it perpetuates some of it, because we're reaffirming our suffering by continuously going over and over and over again. Here's more validation. But all that is energy, and it is dark because it's suffering. And we are just like magnifying it back at ourselves. I have to catch myself out of it, because if you are devoting your whole day into the acknowledgement of the suffering and all of the caveats of what this program is, that is all it's doing is suppressing your energy field. Your biofield is lower vibrations to tune into all of the suffering. So you have to find your ladder and your outlet to raise yourself up, so that you can enhance and go through the different levels of consciousness, where into that field of where your true authenticity and your healing exist, by disconnecting from all of, you know, that narrative of negativity. And I believe, Jamie, you said there's a ratio. 75% needs to be away from that. 25% of your day can tap into it, but if you are on the reverse end of it, you're actually not even allowing your brain space to assimilate the information that is, again, it's good information. I'm not discrediting. Some of the information out there is valuable, but it's also peeling back the layers of the negativity and the attack and everything that we are subjected to on a daily basis. But if you don't find that balance of where you're turning into your healing and your nurturing and doing things for your betterment and your progression, but the day is just encapsulated with all of that. And it's easy to do because there's so much out there. There's one right after another. And I found that I had to pull myself back out and, just so I could breathe, to give your mind the space to breathe and to, formulate and assimilate and really process that information. Jamie, did you want to add anything to that? I'm sorry, I can go into a tangent because I'm very passionate.
Really just having the boundaries within yourself. I've slacked off. I'm not scrolling on social media. I'm not watching things, and my life the quality of my life has improved beyond. I didn't realize what I was doing to myself. I could see it here and there. It gets a little out of hand, but, the brain needs time to process. If you don't give yourself time, I would not put all of my eggs in one basket into any one thing, not even healing. You can't overdo it on the healing either. You have to have that time. Go to the movies, take a walk on the beach, make sure you're getting your time where you're not thinking about anything, where you're just being your true essence and living in that flow state where you just, everything's okay. I'm not doing anything, but everything's okay.
Absolutely.
So if anybody wants to ask a question, or you want to go into the
I just want to say that was really empowering, Jamie. And your intro brought tears to my eyes. I thought it was really beautiful.
Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah, thank you. I love you too. Thanks for working so hard.
Thank you.
And you too, Melissa. All of you. Thank you.
Yes, this information that Jamie has brought forward, the moment that I read it last year, I was like, wow. It just really resonated really deeply within me and my journey, and how it was so in alignment. And I was like, I have got to find a way of reaching out and engaging. And at the time I didn't even know that a podcast was in the future for me at all, with the chosen heroes. But that's just an example of alignment. I was meant to read that. It resonated with me. I didn't know, and I continued to read it, and I was like, wow, this is so. I would comment on Facebook like, oh, this is such information that I needed. It was like, part of my soul speaking. It had an outlet. There it is, all in the words and everything that was inside of me, and knowing that this inner journey and what was necessary and what is necessary for anyone that is targeted too. So again, all alignment. Look, it was just boom, boom, boom right after that. So that's when you're in the flow.
Yeah. And I do want to mention that, so I was told from the very beginning that I was going to be creating a gift. It was going to be my gift to humanity. And I was never allowed to charge money for anything. And I didn't understand that at the time, especially since I was told to quit my well-paying job and gave away all my possessions. So, of course, there was about 10 years there. 2 years I wanted to kill myself. I had my suicide plan. I was planning on jumping off a roof of a high-rise with my son. That's how bad it was. I didn't get close to getting up there. But it was on my mind for 2 years. And actually, by moving into the fact that I wanted to kill myself is what brought me out of it. I found peace in moving into it. So in studying the effects, it's like almost counterintuitive what we're doing. It's like, telling the truth and being ridiculed for it versus being a liar and put on a pedestal. It's like it's the illusion coming fully up to see. So I was told that the information just had to be information, and there couldn't be any, you know, again, I'm not a dog and pony show. I'm not trying to take anything from you. This is coming purely from the heart. And really, it's designed to stomp on stockpiles of money, because when people realize that their brain is a pharmacy and that they can heal from mental illness and disease, and that they don't have to get cancer, and that they don't have to go through, you know, codependent relationships and suffer through addiction. You know, this is about spreading information, getting the right information to the right people when they're ready to hear it. So I have a very big, very, very big plans for the future as far as bringing the science forward, meaning the testimony of knowledge. And this information is the truth, because what I gave you in the counterterrorism is how consciousness functions in time multidimensionally. And if you can follow the map, you can work yourself out of the trap. And when you work yourself out of the trap, you'll see. But it's like you can't see it before you get there. It's like if you're in the 3rd grade, you're not worried about what you're going to be learning in the 12th grade. You know, you're not thinking about what you're going to do at college. You don't even know what you want to do yet. You have to claim your sovereignty. You have to claim your stake, your rightful place. And that is having a pure consciousness that can weigh in. You have just as much say as everyone else. But if you're in the lower realm arguing about belief systems and who's right and who's wrong, and I mean, that's the trap. It's a trap system. That's what it is. It's an energy trapping system that keeps you stuck below the level of your 5 senses. Coming into the senses, you get out from underneath the fight, flight, fawn, freeze responses, and you can really see the program for what it is. And when you start doing that, I'm telling you, we got a whole new world to build. We're building new systems and governments, and we're going in a new direction. It's make a choice. Do you want organic life systems or inorganic life systems? Do you want to be sick and believe you can die? Or do you want to heal yourself here, heal from the human condition, and evolve out? Bye. You know? Things just don't work. Time is manipulated. And that's the stuff we need to get into. But you have to have the cognitive processes. It took me 15 years to wrap my head around the fact that time was a man-made construct and how time functions multidimensionally. You know? So, I mean, these things don't just come. They come through the healing work. Because every time you heal, then your mind, like, opens up, you know? And you can feed it more. And then you sort of move into that information, you process it out, show up practicing it, and then you integrate, and then you have full embodiment. It's like steps on a ladder. Mm-hmm. So.
All good information. I'm definitely going to be playing this back again, and this materials that you prepared today are just phenomenal. Do you want to read through the declaration, or do we want
to? It's up to you. If you want to read the declaration and do the guided journey, it will be the practice and how they'll be able to embody. So then they can go ahead and read that on their own time for the sake of time. Not that time's real or anything, but.
Yeah, the declaration is just amazing.
So, okay, well, read it. Feel free.
Okay, and everybody will get a copy of this sent to you today after the call, along with the link to the video. So it says, I, a targeted survivor, stand resolute in reclaiming my personal agency, nurturing my healing, and envisioning a future of strength and liberation. Guided by Poli-Si's transformative vision, I reject the label of targeted individual and embrace my identity as a survivor empowered to rise above systemic injustices, surveillance, harassment, and oppression. Through the power of my agency, the sacred space, I hold for healing and the clarity of visualization. I affirm my I cannot say it. Sovereignty. I couldn't get it out. Like, come on out. Sovereignty. Yes. Resilience and right to thrive. And these declarations are so empowering. I declare my autonomy. I am the sole authority over my body, mind, and spirit. No force, individual, institutional, or systemic can deny my right to shape my own path. My agency is my birthright, and I wield it with intention, guided by my truth and values. My healing, I hold space for my recovery, honoring the wounds of targeting while fostering resilience. Through agency, I choose actions that mend my heart and soul, self-care, reflection, and community connection. Visualization is my ally. I envision a safe, empowered self, transforming pain into a foundation for growth. My truth, my experiences as a targeted survivor are valid and what is that, Jamie?
I'm not reading it. Where? Okay. What number are you on?
Number 3. Unsaleable. Is that what it should be? My experiences as a targeted survivor. Number 3 on my truth.
Unassailable.
Unsaleable. Okay. I reject gaslighting, dismissal, or attempts to silence me. Poli-Si's shift from targeted individual to targeted survivor empowers me to reclaim my narrative with courage and authenticity. My counterintelligence. I move beyond the counterterrorism blueprint that casts me as a passive target. Embracing Poli-Si's counterintelligence framework, I embody proactive practices, strategic communication, privacy protection, and resilience formulas. Visualization strengthens my resolve. I see myself outsmarting threats and securing my freedom with every step. My solidarity. I stand with fellow targeted survivors, amplifying our collective strength. Through shared visualization, I imagine a united community forging unbreakable bonds. Together we dismantle oppressive systems and build a world rooted in justice and support. My future. I claim my right to dream, create, and live fully. Through agency and visualization, I see a future free from harm, where my choices shape a life of purpose and joy. The scars of targeting do not define me. They fuel my vision and resolve. As a targeted survivor, I am not a victim, but a warrior enduring spirit. My agency is my power. My healing is my sanctuary. And my visualizations are my blueprint for liberation. This declaration is my stand, a commitment to embody counterintelligence, hold space for healing, and rise to the architect of my destiny. With Poli-Si's guidance, I affirm my truth, my strength, and my unbreakable will to thrive. Signed in resilience and vision, a targeted survivor. It's just beautiful. Gives me chills.
So I did want to mention one thing, a book that was very influential on my life, which got me of the mindset for the work that I do now, which was The Power of 8 by Lynn McTaggart. And I was in a group of The Power of 8. It's based, if I had to describe it in my words, which is probably not the words that you're going to read in her book, it's like a prayer group, but she breaks it down to a science. So they got 8 people together, and they would kind of come together in a prayer circle and they would heal people. And I had already had this basic knowledge and understanding through my work, but I read the book, and then a girl asked me if I wanted to join a group. And that's where I really honed in on my visualization skills and my ability to be able to, what I did for years were psychic surgeries. I've been healing myself for years. I can mitigate, manage, and release things within myself, and I've proven this to myself time and again. But anyway, the results are phenomenal. But when you read the book, it sort of opens up channels in your mind and gives you ideas. And the thing is, all of my ideas didn't actually come from the book. They came from the group that I was in, because we would each do our own visualization for the person that was in the middle. So I always went with a picture of my friend who had cancer. So when it was time to work on her, we would put her picture in the middle, like a ritual type thing. She was dying of cancer. I mean, there was no coming back from it. But she had pure peace and bliss. And trust me, she was on all the medications, and she had no relief. But on those days, she had full relief for 24 hours. And the results of the other people that were in the group were staggering. And when you read through some of her testimony, you'll see, but we're moving into visualization, visualizing, something different, because the program is telling you this. You have to change the channel and flip the script on all these programs. And agency and visualization are very important to move forward. So I'll put some things together, and that'll be the next thing that we're going to work on for the next series. But we're moving into a whole new series. So I'm sure I already made that clear.
Yes, yes, we're moving into counterintelligence instead of counterterrorism. We're leaving that behind. Yes. Well, I can leave it up to the group and y'all's time. We could do the guided journey, or you could do self-study on the guided journey for today. I'm more than happy to read through it. So, feedback from the group, do you have time? Would you like me to read the journey, or do you want to, once you get the guide for lesson 7, do it on your own?
I have time. I'm not I'm not doing anything. I like doing it as a group too.
If you have time, Melissa, I would go ahead and do it, only if you have time. If you have something else to do,
Yes, I have time.
I would say please do it, because we're making a video that we can rewatch and other people can watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes that's what they can grasp, is what they're actually doing.
Yes, that's very true. Very true. Good point. All right. So let's dig in. This is going to be a guided journey on reclaiming agency, healing, and vision. So find a quiet space, comfortable space where you feel safe, and sit or lie down with your body relaxed. And this is a sacred space for you, a targeted survivor. And for the next, around 30 minutes or so, we're going to reclaim your agency and hold space for healing and visualize a powerful future. You are safe to feel, release, and rise. So let's begin. So part 1 is grounding in the present. So our purpose here today is to center the body and mind, connecting to personal agency. Close your eyes, if comfortable, or soften your gaze. And take a deep breath in through your nose, feeling your chest and belly expand. And exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing tension. So we're going to repeat that 3 more times. Take a deep breath in through your nose, feeling your chest and belly expand. And exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing more tension. Again, take a deep breath in through your nose, feeling your chest and belly expand. This time go a little bit deeper than you did before. Exhale slowly through your mouth, tension leaving the body, stress leaving. One more time. Take a really deep breath in through your nose, chest expanding, belly expanding, and try to bring in a little bit more air this time. And exhale through your mouth, releasing tension, anxiety, stress. It's all fleeting you. Now notice your body, your feet on the ground, your hands resting, the rhythm of your breath. Feel your presence here, now. You are a targeted survivor, rooted in this moment, claiming your space. Say silently or aloud, I am here. My agency is mine. I choose to begin this journey. Now gently place one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. Feel the warmth of your touch, a reminder of your strength. As you breathe, imagine a soft, grounding light at the base of your spine, anchoring you to the earth. This is the light of your resilience, your survivor spirit. Now reflect. Poli-Si has named me a targeted survivor, not a target. I embody strength. I hold space for my healing. If tension arises, exhale it out, visualizing it as gray mist dissolving. You are creating room for peace. Now we're going to reclaim our personal agency. And the purpose is to activate agency through affirmation and embodied choice. Repeat these affirmations silently, pausing to feel each one. The first one is, I am the architect of my life. My choices shape my path. Next, no system can take my power. My agency is my birthright. And next, as a targeted survivor, I rise with intention and strength. Notice how these words feel in your body. Do they spark warmth, courage, or calm? That's your agency awakening. Now reflect. My agency is universal. Like every survivor, I believe, act, and adapt. I am unstoppable. Now we're going to move into embodied choice. Think of one small action you can take today to reclaim your power, perhaps speaking your truth, practicing a counterintelligence tool like secure communication, or resting to honor your needs. Now visualize yourself taking this action. See it clearly. Where are you? What do you feel? Picture the strength in your body as you act out what you have chosen for today. Move your body to embody this choice. Stand taller, open your shoulders, or nod your head. Feel the power of deciding. And say to yourself, I choose this action. My agency shapes my reality. I am a targeted survivor, thriving through my choices. Now we're going to go into holding space for healing. And the purpose is to process trauma and natural recovery through visualization and self-compassion. We're going to creating a safe space. Imagine a place where you feel completely safe. A forest, a beach, a cozy room, or a space you create in your mind. See the colors. Hear its sounds. Feel its warmth. In this space, picture a gentle figure, your wiser self, a loved one, or a symbol of strength. This figure holds space for your healing, offering unconditional support. Now speak to this figure, silently or aloud. I've carried pain from targeting. I'm ready to release what no longer serves me. Now visualize the pain as a heavy stone in your hands. When ready, place that heavy stone on the ground or let it dissolve into light. Feel your body lighten. In your safe space, imagine a warm golden light flowing from your heart, spreading throughout your body. This is your healing energy. soothing wounds from surveillance, harassment, and betrayal. See this light expanding, filling you with peace and strength. Say, I hold space for my healing. I am whole, resilient, and worthy. Now, picture a moment of joy or empowerment in your future. Laughing with community, feeling free, or succeeding in a goal. Hold this image, letting it anchor your hope. Now reflect by saying, my agency creates the space. Visualization guides my healing. I am a targeted survivor, rising stronger. And don't forget to breathe. We're going to be moving into embodying counterintelligence. And the purpose is to integrate Poli-Si's counterintelligence framework through visualization and practice. So first, we are going to start with understanding the shift. Reflect. Poli-Si has moved us from counterterrorism, where we are seen as targets, to counterintelligence, where we are proactive survivors. Picture the old counterterrorism blueprint as a heavy chain breaking apart. In its place, see a glowing web of tools, practices, strategic communication, and community resilience empowering you. Say aloud or silently, I embody counterintelligence. I am one step ahead, protecting my agency. Now we're going to move into visualizing a practice. Choose one counterintelligence practice to visualize. Securing your communications, for example, using encryption, building community, or analyzing disinformation. If unsure, just imagine protecting your privacy. See yourself confidently using this practice. Picture the setting, your actions, and the calm strength you feel. For example, visualize sending a secure message, knowing your safety. Move your hands as if enacting this practice, typing, reaching out, or shielding yourself. Feel your body with your vision. Now say aloud or internally, I visualize my power. I embody Poli-Si formulas. As a targeted survivor, I outsmart and overcome. Now we're going to move into closing and commitment. And the purpose is to anchor the journey and inspire action. First, we're going to go into the unified vision. Return to your safe space from earlier. Now see yourself surrounded by other targeted survivors, a radiant community of strength. Visualize this group thriving, free, connected, and empowered. Picture a collective future where justice prevails, built by your agency and counterintelligence practices. Hold this image, letting it fuel you with resolve. Now say aloud or internally, I am a targeted survivor, united with others. My agency, healing, and vision create change. Now we're going to go through the commitment. So place your hands on your heart, feeling your breath. Commit to one action from this journey, a healing practice, a counterintelligence tool, or a visualization to revisit. Now open your eyes if they were closed and take a final deep breath. Say aloud or internally, I carry my agency, my healing, and my vision forward. I am a targeted survivor, unstoppable. If you have a journal or paper, write down your chosen action or reflection from this journey. That was really, really empowering. It was incredible. Would someone like to share anything as we went through the meditation, anything that came up and how you felt, how you feel before you did the meditation versus how you feel right now?
I'm vibrating at the frequency of love. I feel very warm and peaceful and connected to everyone.
And I feel that calmness, that peace and that centeredness.
That's your authentic self. That's the baseline. That's truth. So you could be in a terrible situation, and when you're in alignment with truth, you will still have peace.
Yeah, there could be like all hell breaking loose, but you're still centered in that storm, right? That's the way I feel sometimes. I'm like, I got this. This is nothing new. Not the first rodeo here.
This baseline becomes part of our algorithms, especially when we're struggling with something and we remove a block or we get bad news or whatever. It just allows us to accept, because the Poli-Si template, self-awareness, honesty, self-accountability, as we cultivate those things, we're able to maneuver through obstacles effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
One time I was supposed to move into a new place, and I got a call a week before to go over to the place to see what happened, and the place was burning down right in front of my eyes, and I was like, oh, I guess we're not moving there. And it was actually a big kind of thing. Like, I had gotten furniture and maneuvered a lot of things, and I always know when I'm making the right decision because I have peace. Whether it's a decision that I want to happen, it's baseline calm. It's your natural, this is the God source. This is the field, pure consciousness in alignment.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Anyone else want to share with us? And I appreciate you going over a little bit with us for the meditation, and love to hear your feedback.
Hi, this is Deborah. I have calm and peace, and I feel like we're heading towards that visualization therapy, but I don't know if we're ready for that yet. But it just seems like, I don't know if that's in our future, but it sure feels like the next step.
Well, we create the future, and we do it through our actions, our feelings, putting everything in alignment with the reality that we want. So things can fall apart in the world, but we will be fine. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but we're living in two spaces.
I do affirmations too about obstacles. I get every time it seems like I need to pay attention to something, I will see like the 11s or 111s or whatever, these reoccurring numbers, and every time I see something like that, I just take a moment right at that moment and say, my obstacles are moving out of the way. And it's just something that it really is teaching yourself that nothing that comes against you cannot be undone. And that's the mindset that I try to keep, that, even though there is all of these darkness, that it can be seen and exposed. And we are worthy of that. And that is, operating and understanding your birthright, your agency. And it really does, it helps things shift to do that. And this whole embodiment of work that Jamie has created is all what we deserve. And we are the architects, like she says. We are the designers of our world. And we have the ability to outmaneuver and outsmart these programs because we see through them and we see the patterns, and we're not going to be impacted by them. It just takes work. Anyone else would like to say anything or share? So the next meeting will be on July 5th, right? Yeah, that's July 5th. Noon still a good time?
Mm-hmm. 12? Yeah, 12 or 1 my time.
1 your time, noon Central.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to...
How do you feel about going into more of an intimate setting? Like, I'm not saying that they're intimate, but like where we can see everybody that's on there and we do it like a meeting, maybe on like Zoom where everybody's pictures come up and we can interact, because really that's kind of where we are, because I want to go through the processes and give examples and really be able to connect with people. I also want to be able to vet everyone moving forward. I don't, it's my intel has shared with me that there's some perps, so they need to be gone. And not that the videos aren't going to go out. Well, I guess we can't do that with Zoom. Not that we're not going to share the videos, but at least when we're in our space, we are connected and no interference from the outside world while we're doing it. But it's just a thought.
I've been actually, been told about Zoom for a while, and I use it on other things, but I would like Zoom where I could see everybody and you could see me, but I don't want it put on the internet. I would want to keep it our private thing. If we record it or something, I know we're still supporting people that are there, but I would like to keep it private among our group because we're going to do a lot of deep stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I can keep it basics for the classes, and we'll keep it like this. But if we want to open up and do some Zoom calls with the core people that are actually working with stuff, because I really need to get into some things that I just can't get into in this, the way that it is. I need to see people. I need to connect with you. So we'll leave it as is, and we'll do some little side groups, and let me think on that for a little bit. But this will be strictly working the processes, building community, and talking about, the effects so people can learn. Does that sound okay?
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
I like that.
Okay.
Good. All right. Well, I thank everybody for attending today. Was anybody else have any final words, questions, or comments before we close out? All right. Well, thank you, everyone. So we'll be back, and we'll get out details on the breakout sessions that are a little bit more intimate, and then, of course, next meeting would be on the 5th at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, and I have to do math. 10 a.m. I'm still in like a very calm state. I'm like, chill. I'm like, oh, math, okay.
So, can I clarify quickly when I'm saying that? I'm saying because I want to share more, not because I want you guys to share any of your details. I'm saying because I want to open up the floodgates. I'm ready to start talking.
Yeah, I just find that really raw, real conversations are just the very best, There's too much niceties and pleasantness and having to suppress as it is, but when you get around a group of people that are talking, the real truth, the rawness of everything, that's just It's always the best.
I want to share my details of the journey and how I implemented some strategies. And it's just hard to do like this because I don't know who's heard it before. And I'm thinking, are these people coming in halfway and they're thinking this? It's just too much for me. That's why I'm not trying to anybody to put anybody out there and have any repercussions. That's not what I was saying. So I apologize if anybody thought that.
All right, great. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for joining, and I will get the link for the video out to you along with the 2 documents. So you're going to get the lesson 7, and that has the guided meditation that we went through today. And in a separate one, which is just the amazing declaration of agency for healing and vision from a targeted survivor, I think we just need to live and breathe that, let it become our mantra, you know, and read it multiple times when we're under attack or we're just feeling, you know, out of sorts or just too much going on, just staying centered in that word, that promise to yourself and how you envision yourself as the survivor. And it's just beautiful. So I'll get that out as well today. So as soon as we end the call, I will start, drafting up that email for everybody to receive this information. But once I get the video uploaded, and I know Jamie has her channel too, so I'll feed that video over to her so she can upload it on the channel. Are you going to rebrand it? Or are you going to change the title, the channel name on that one that you have, or keep it the same?
I'm going to leave it there because I've got a whole plan of what I'm working on and how we'll funnel. You know, for now it is what it is.
All right, excellent. All right.
Thank you for everything that you do. I love you guys so much, and thank you for being on this journey with us.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Everyone. Have a great day. Thank you.